Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Kamu and welcome to another video. And today I will show you another meta deck. It's actually Impetuous Panda's deck, and he used it to get to rank 1 and rank 2 with his smurf at the same time. And even though he's a very good player, obviously this deck helped him a lot. And let's just cook it together and let's see how it looks. So obviously it's a Skellige deck, right? In the ladder at the moment, everybody's playing Skellige, and besides everybody's thoughts before the patch, Skellige is actually extremely good because of the Savage Bear. And we play Crach, and if you play Crach, then let's add the Morkvarg, obviously, because with the Crach, he pulls us the highest loyal bronze or silver unit in our deck, and it strengthens it by 3 and damage it by 1. And obviously if we play with the Morkvarg, who whenever he is discarded or destroyed, he comes back even though you pass in the turn, this has very good synergy. And when it comes to the bronze cards, obviously since it's Skellige, we add the Clan Drummond Shieldmaidens, and we can also call it the OP Shieldmaidens because they are in every deck. They're extremely strong because they are 15 in stats, and in round 3 they are 21 in stats because they're all veterans. And they're also thinning if we play it in round 1, and they're also damaging the opponent's board, so... And they also are very much tempo play. So they are really good, and we don't have to talk about them. Also, a backbone of our Skellige decks are the Priestess of Freya, so they obviously are also in this deck because they resurrect any bronze unit, and so they're just better than any bronze unit. And of course, as I said, right now the meta is full of Savage Bears, so we obviously play 3 ourselves, because what they do is they damage each enemy that appears by 1, and they got buffed by 2 stats. They were 4 before, now they are 6, which makes them absolutely insane. And so these are the usual staples in this meta right now. And what Panda played was he added 2 Armorsmith. And the reason why he added 2 Armorsmiths is because they heal 3 units to the left, which means that this card is really strong against weather, and it's strong against Savage Bears. So in the mirror, this card is also very good because all your damaged minions, they don't really get damaged because you heal them back. So the more Savage Bears your opponent plays, the stronger this card gets. And against weather, it's just insane because weather actually doesn't do anything. So against weather monsters or spell square tell, this card is nuts. And so there are 4 bronze cards left, and what he added now was, I think, really a brilliant move, because what he added was Raging Berserkers. I don't know if it's his idea, but I think Raging Berserkers are extremely good in this meta because you play them and they get damaged by a Savage Bear, or they get damaged by Biting Frost, which is played a lot in this meta, and he becomes 11 stats. And that's really good for a bronze card. Plus, he negates the damage that he got, so it's basically 12 stats, or maybe 13 stats. And that makes this card really, really good in this meta, and very, very solid. He also played a Brokvar Hunter. Where is he? Here he is. Because this one, he also just negates the damage of a Savage Bear, which means, for example, you play him in the front row, then you place a Raging Berserker next to him, and then your Raging Berserker doesn't get any damage at all, and your Brokvar Hunter even gets buffed. Also, as you will see later, and as everybody's playing in Skellige right now, is Hjalmar, and Hjalmar, he will spawn an Undvik on your opponent's side of the board. You want to clear it, and the Clan Brokvar Hunter helps to clear it. Also, if you don't have a target for your Shieldmaidens, he will deliver you anyone you want. So when it comes to the last bronze card, Panda decided to play Mardroome, and I think Mardroome is an interesting card because what it does is it resets a unit and strengthens it by 3, or it resets a unit and weakens it by 3. So this card is very good against consume monsters, and it's very good against weather, because if, for example, your front row gets weathered and you have a damaged Morkvarg, you can reset him and even buff him. And obviously, if you just buff the Morkvarg, you get +3, and since Morkvarg will be spawned in round 2 and round 3 as well, you get 9 just from the single bronze card. But if you heal him, it's much better. So this is a solid bronze card, and these are the bronze slots. So let's just dive into the silver slots. Well, we play a Decoy. Decoy is very good against any type of lock. So as we said, if we play Mardroome and we buff Morkvarg until the end as much as we can, we probably want something to unlock our Morkvarg, just in case he gets locked. And so we play the Decoy, because if he gets locked or damaged, we can just decoy him and do basically the same as Mardroome, but a little bit better. Also, we want the Donar, because Donar is really, he's really what a locked unit should be. He is 7 stats on average, he is 6 plus, he is veteran, so he is on average 7 stats, which is a very good sweet spot for a lock unit. And what he also does is he steals our opponent's bronze minions from his deck. So this card, he can win games by himself. He can win against, for example, consume monsters where you can steal neckers, or just any other very important minion of your opponent. For example, a Reaver Hunter against Northern Realms. And what he also does is he gives you a minion in your graveyard. So if you don't have one to resurrect, he gives you one. So this is really, really an extremely good card in Skellige overall. Also, of course, Sigrdrifa, I don't think we have to talk about her. And the Gremist, which is also a very solid card, because he is 14 stats by himself probably. If you play, for example, Blood-Curdling Roar on a Freya. But he can also clear weather, or he can also place fog. And that makes him really versatile, and we also need targets for Sigrdrifa to resurrect, so this card is included. Also, we play the Holger Blackhand, and Holger Blackhand is very interesting because he is 5 stats, and so an average 6 stats because he's veteran, and he damages a unit by 5, which makes him 11. But he also buffs a minion in your graveyard by 3. Sometimes when you play him in round 1, you don't have a target, then you only get 11 stats. Or actually only 10 stats. But that's fine for a silver card. But where his real strength is his synergy with Hjalmar. Because Hjalmar is 15 stats and he spawns in Lord Andvik on your opponent's side. This has 5 stats, and if you kill it, Hjalmar gets 10 stats. And obviously, since it's 5 stats, Holger Blackhand can just kill it. And so these are very synergetic. And so that's why we include the Holger Blackhand. Also, as I said, Hjalmar is included right now in almost any Skellige deck, because we are damaging our opponent's board so heavily that Hjalmar just is probably all the time, every time 20 stats. And that's just really, really, really solid for a golden card. The same is for Madman Lugos. With Madman Lugos we have 7 stats. And what he does is he discards a bronze card from your deck and damage a unit by the discarded unit's base power. So if we discard a Raging Berserker or a Savage Bear, then this guy is 6 stats plus 7, so 13 stats. But it's 6 damaging. So that's actually more than your usual 6 stats, which is pretty good. And also he gives you a target to your graveyard. So if you play him in round 1, your Freyas aren't dead, which makes him a very, very solid card. Usually we play him with, I would play him with Clan and Crate Raiders. So these guys here, because they are 5 stats on average, and whenever this unit is discarded, resurrected immediately. So if you discard him, for example in round 3, then he will be spawned to the board, and then Madman Lugos is 19 stats. But Panda wants him for round 1. So yeah, he doesn't play it, and I think I like it because the bronze slots are so stacked that we don't need the Clan Crate Raider. And when it comes to the rest of the gold slots, we have Renew. Well, Renew is a card that is, well, sees a lot of play right now. It's very versatile. It resurrects a golden unit from either graveyard. So, for example, if you play Hjalmar, you can renew your Hjalmar in round 3. For example, that's really good against Spelltail or Spellskoyatel. And yeah, you can also, for example, resurrect a Succubus and get your Morkvarg back. And so this card is really versatile, and I think it's a really solid card. By the way, it's neutral, so craft it. And when it comes to the last card, we add Coral. What Coral does is she picks a unit and damage all units on this unit's row by half their power, which means that if your opponent stacks 1 row, she's a lot of stats and can decide a game by her own. So this is the deck. Panda used it, as I said, to get to top 1 and top 2 at the same time, and I think it's really solid. So yeah, let's just dive into some gameplay.
You've got the heart of a
Okay, so here we play against another Crach and Crate. And let's see what happens. So this is our starting hand, and obviously these Raging Berserkers are really good against Skellige. Savage Bears are really solid bronze cards, and the Armorsmith, maybe we don't want 2, I think 1 is enough. But first let's get rid of the Morkvarg, because Morkvarg we always want to pull with our leader, so let's just get rid of it. The Shieldmaidens are very solid, but usually want them in round 3. And I think 3 bears a little bit too much. So let's get the Holger back. And obviously we played Savage Bear first. And he pulls the Savage Bear, which means that if he doesn't play Morkvarg, or if he does play Morkvarg, it's in his hand, which is very good for us. So now we can also always play the Raging Berserker, and it gets 11 stats. Actually 12, because he doesn't get damaged by Savage Bear, which is obviously pretty good. But we just play a bear, because we hope that he continues to play, and he obviously does. So we just play our Morkvarg ourselves.
You've got the heart of a Crate.
So now that he played the Wild Boar, that means that we should end this round pretty soon, because each round he will buff another minion, which is not good for us. So yeah, but I definitely want to get these Raging Berserker activated. So this is not a spot to pass. And now if he doesn't get over our stats, so if he, for example, only gets 40 stats, then now we will pass. Let's wait for what he does. Okay, so he obviously knows it because he's a good player, and he's trying to get over in stats. But now I think that was probably his last tempo play, which means that we can just play the Armorsmith and get very far in stats. So okay, so he has another card that is slightly too good, which is pretty sad, because we really want to get out of this round. So we can't resurrect the bear, that would be not enough stats. We can think about playing Coral. Coral is 8 plus 5, so 13 in stats. I think this is what we will do.
I suppose, in the end.
Okay, so he's really desperate, in need, and he doesn't get a card that he wanted. Probably he wanted a Raging Berserker, maybe? But that's not enough. Obviously, we pass now. Now we lose around with one card down, with one card up, but that's totally fine. The only sad thing is that he can pass in round 2 because his Morkvarg is a little bit stronger now than our Morkvarg. But what can you do, right? So obviously he gets over our stats. And we are one card up. And there might be a chance that he passes now. Well, I think I really want something else than the Brokvar Hunter. I think this is fine, that's good. Yes. So we play something. And we obviously have to find the weakest card that we play. And question really is which one is the weakest one. I think it's probably this one.
Swords are for wenches. Get yourself an axe.
Also, guys, all the time, if you see plays that I don't see, type it in the comments. Really, I read them all, and I want to improve myself. So if you have another suggestions, if you would have played something else in any different spot, then just write it in the comments. It also helps out the channel a lot. It's great. So let's just get rid of it. And we get Hjalmar, which is pretty good. As I said in the deck description, Hjalmar and Holger are really best friends. So, since we started, we played bear first. Because the sooner we play the bear, the better.
We serve her who is virgin, mother, and crone.
He now plays his own bear, which is 11 stats. Pretty sick. And now what we have to decide is whether we play the maidens or something else. Because if we play the maidens, they get damaged by one bear. But the problem is then maybe they're really damaged by weather a lot. So in these cases, for example, if our opponent plays Gremist, I don't want to play the Shieldmaidens. Not as soon as possible, but as late as possible. And that's probably what I do, unless I want to resurrect something. And I'll probably want to resurrect the Raging Bear, which I can do later, so let's just play the Hjalmar. And of course I want to play around Igni, so I probably will play it in the back row. So he plays another bear. Which means that we maybe should have played the Shieldmaidens first. But what can you do? I think we should just remove it. So we get less damage. Also Holger, he buffs our bear, which is insanely great. It's now 14 stats. So it's just an incredibly good resurrection target, which makes them these Raging Berserkers and Raging Burst insane in the mirror. It's just insane. So we also want to remove the bear. And we can do the so. Tick. And now we don't. We shouldn't not forget to kill the Lord Andvik with the Shieldmaidens. But even if he plays Donar and he steals one, we can still do that. And that is what we do now. Or should we do it now? He didn't play a bear, so that means that he probably doesn't play another one, and we can play the Shieldmaidens last. So let's do that. Resurrect the bear. And let's see what he can do. And that makes this, as you can see, these maidens in round 3 are just insane. They are just insane. They have a lot of synergy with Hjalmar, and they are 21 in stats. And we will use them now, and doesn't actually matter at all. So, and we win the match, which is pretty fun. So yeah, now this was the gameplay. If you want more gameplay, please type it in the comments. I'm happily making another video if you like it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, leave a like, it helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more content, you can also subscribe. So what's left to say is have a great day and bye.